Hello, Mindset Recovery friends. So, I made my last video in September. At that time, I talked about how I had decided not to follow the NA way exactly. Um, Felt like I could handle just drinking a few beers every once in a while, and it's not going to lead me back into active addiction again. And had a falling out with my NA sponsor at the time over that decision. Got me a new sponsor in NA who's got 28 years clean in the program, been in AA and NA, and is also a believer in Jesus Christ, who is my higher power. I've actually been leaning a lot more heavily on my faith. I still go to meetings for NA for the fellowship. I read literature at the meetings, but primarily I've been involved in Celebrate Recovery, which is a Christian 12-step program modeled after AA, but finds inspiration for the 12 steps in the Beatitudes in the Sermon on the Mount. So that's neither here nor there, but that's pretty much what I do. So I've been honest with my new sponsor and people in the program for the entire time uh, that I've been uh, doing this exploratory thing with recovery. And so when I first told my old sponsor that I was planning on trying to drink some alcohol and moderate and be controlled, um, that was so foreign of a concept to him because he's a staunch follower of NA, where one is too many and a thousand is never enough. That I think I just glitched his mind, and he just he fired me, and I haven't really been interacting with him much. My new sponsor, though, he's got a lot more serenity, having been in the program for a long time. So he didn't tell me that he thought that was a good idea, but basically, you can't control other people, and he didn't have an unhealthy relationship with trying to control me. And I'm a grown ass man, 57. So he was like, hey man, if that's what you feel like you need to do, there's only two possible outcomes for that. And one is, you'll be fine, you'll be able to do it, you won't have any problems. And the other one is that your life will become unmanageable, and you'll have to get back into the program and practice the principles and do it the NA way. So anyway, sorry, I got like a fingernail poking me. Um, so here's my experience with my experiment. I I haven't gotten drunk, and I started to do that when I got my second year clean. Um, in NA, I picked up a year chip on August the 22nd, and I celebrated by having two beers. So I didn't get drunk. So my original plan was that I was going to drink on my birthday once a year, and then I expanded that to special occasions. And currently, I have gotten to the point where it's once a week. Ideally on Friday when I don't have to work the next day. Um, two beers is the accepted amount that I've decided. It's turned out to look more like three beers, but at any rate, I still haven't gotten drunk. But what I've noticed, and I was talking to my sponsor about it, and I wasn't really focusing on the drinking weekly under controlled circumstances and not seeing any negative consequences as a result. I was talking about something unrelated. So I've just been what's ended up I've figured out from it is unmanageability has been showing up in my life in different ways, and mostly that's in character defects of intolerance and control and expectations. And so I've been getting very frustrated with other people who are not behaving the way that I think they should behave, which is, the whole point of it is God grant me the serenity for the things I cannot change. And, so acceptance that we can't control other people. And the only thing we have control over is our reaction to how other people behave. And so if you're getting your panties in a wad over how other people are acting that you have no control over, then that negatively impacts you. Maybe not them. I mean, if you're screaming and yelling and cussing at them, which hasn't been the case, I've just been overly critical of people. So anybody who has been in a 12-step program for a long period of time, like AA or anything, they call people who are abstinent for a long period of time, but have not entered into the spiritual side of the program sufficiently, surrendered themselves to a higher power. They're dry drunks because they basically have meeting-based sobriety. They're still in self-will. They're just able to control the fact that they don't drink, but they're pretty much assholes to be around because they have no tolerance for anybody else. And, it's been joked around that they might not drink anymore, but they make you want to drink when you're around them because you can't stand them because they're total assholes. So anyway, I have decided that that's kind of where I'm headed for. And so my sponsor had, we haven't sat down and had a conversation yet about, the strategy that I should have. But I mean, it's not too hard to figure out what he's going to suggest. And, I think basically what it is, there's only God's will and our will are the only two wills in the universe. And once we feel like we've got this under control and we can do this, then we're ego driven, and ego, they say, is edging God out. So we get to the point where we feel like, I've worked this program. I know what it is. It's been successful for me. And so I'll take it from here. And then that, leads to, most people end up getting drunk or high or, whatever their character defect is, they get back into that. So, as I've shared before, I have been using alcohol and drugs since I was in my late teens. And I did that for 35 years before I had a stroke. So, I mean, I was abusing drugs, but I moderated to the point where it didn't almost kill me until I was old. And, I was the kind of person that felt like, my life wasn't unmanageable because I had a good job. I went to school and got good grades. I have a house, had a family I was taking care of, always paid my bills, had a cell phone, um, you know, so I was basically responsible. So I figured that I knew that I was powerless over drugs and alcohol because I was using against my will, but my life was not unmanageable. And so the conclusion that I came to when I decided to work this program the way that it was supposed to be worked is that, if you're using against your will, your life is unmanageable. And it gets to the point where you almost die as a result of what you've been doing to your body for a long period of time. That's basically unmanageable. So then I surrendered, made it a year and a half, completely clean, drank one beer. Then my sponsor wanted me to pick up another white chip and start over. And then I made it another year, and that was August the 22nd. And that's when I decided that, I've been able to just drink one beer, 18 months and then go another year and I drank two beers. So I'm like, okay, well, obviously if I just don't let this thing get out of control, I can do this. So that has proven to kind of be the case, but obviously it's negatively impacting me in other areas of my life with manageability. And so I think the biggest thing is this is why we need, you know, a group of people that we can be accountable to and be honest with them, because as I've said before, and the program says, you can't spot self-deception. And when you start getting into self-will, sometimes you have yourself deluded, but you're the only one that doesn't see it. So my plan is, I talked to my sponsor, shared that with him. I told him that I think I need to make sure that I set aside some time every week. The important thing is that I've been telling on myself, because we're only as sick as our secrets. So even though I've been doing this stuff, I have been honest with my fellowship and my brothers, not so much in NA because they have a zero tolerance, but in Celebrate Recovery, drunkenness is a sin, but somebody who just drinks a beer or two every once in a while is not practicing drunkenness. So they're a little bit more tolerant of somebody saying, yeah, I drink 2 beers a week. But when they see it affecting them negatively, we start to have empathy for each other in 12 steps, and they can see where I'm trying to baffle them with bullshit. And even though I might be fooling myself, I'm not fooling anybody else. So that's one thing that I've done well. And this program has also allowed me to see the light going off on the dashboard, the warning light. And even though I haven't had any real negative consequences as a result of me deciding that I can do this on my own, um, still try to maintain my conscious contact with my higher power, which I think I've done. But as a result of that, I think he's kind of led me to this decision where I need to seek people who are in the program that have more experience in this kind of a thing and can, mentor me in the direction that I need to go. So my plan here is to meet with my sponsor more often and continue to be honest with him and start taking suggestions from him. And I would imagine, if I had to put money on it, that he's going to suggest that I drink zero alcohol and, before it gets to be a problem. So anyway, I just want to be honest about it. Maybe, I know nobody really watches my videos, but I think anybody watching it regularly would have probably come to the conclusion that I was slowly but surely moving toward self-will, and it's been a fool's errand. So anyway, um, this is Roberto signing off. Fight the good fight, and take care of yourself.